Welcome to the DIY Audio Guy YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this jig so I could use this router to make decorative grooves, dados, and other designs on a speaker enclosure. Let's get to the build. Off camera, I ripped down some plywood into 1-inch strips on the table saw, and now I'm cutting them down to 30 inches long on the miter saw. I built this miter saw table last year, and it includes these stop blocks. These are a big time saver, especially when I need to make a bunch of cuts that are all the same length. Next, I grabbed a router and my 2 strips to verify the width before ripping down some 1/2-inch plywood on the table saw and cutting into length on the miter saw. I'm holding it together with some wood glue and brad nails. And then it gets a coat of wax so everything slides nice and smooth. This little cordless router is not as powerful as a full-size router, so I'm going to make several passes to cut a groove in the jig, starting with a 1/4-inch bit and finishing off with a 3/4-inch bit. While I'm doing that, I need to give a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon, with a special shout out to my newest patrons, Scott and William. Hey guys, welcome to the team. My patrons help me make videos by making a contribution to the channel. If you're enjoying the channel, I'd appreciate your help as well. Now to test out the jig and see how it goes. The last time I tried this, I just clamped a piece of straight wood to the enclosure and I gave it a go. As you can see, it didn't work out that well. The router walked on me a little bit. I probably should have just tossed the baffle and made another one, but this was a practice box and I was going to try several new things like wrapping it in vinyl, and I wanted to see how bad those mistakes were going to show up through the vinyl. They did. It was ugly. It's probably a mistake to film something on my first try and then upload it to YouTube. But mistakes are just part of the process. It's part of how you learn. Always keep that in mind if you're trying something new, and don't let perfection get in the way of learning how to do something. The first thing that I noticed was that clamping the jig is a lot easier than trying to clamp a straight edge. So the jig is already saving me a ton of time. It turns out this jig had a little bit of slop in it and the lines were not quite perfect. So I threw that one away and I made this one. And that one turned out perfect. Now it's time to use it on an enclosure. If you want to see that, hit the subscribe button. In the meantime, here's a video for you to enjoy, and I'll see you on the next adventure.